and welcome back to the channel where we usually do car things. And when I say car things, I do mean some interesting stuff. Over the past year, I created this pretty unique motor vehicle here in my garage. I started off by removing the old 4-banger and replacing it with a bigger 6-banger, and then I just finished everything so we can add some boost. The only thing it needs now is some bigger injectors, so I went on the internet yesterday and ordered some, so hopefully they'll be in the next couple of days. So while we wait on that, I have something a bit different for this video, and that is my nephew's Honda XR150L. The other day he dropped the bike off and said that it has a starting issue. And it turns out the issue is much bigger than we thought. I've already started digging into it, so let me get you caught up of what I've been able to find up until now. Okay, so I've said this before and I'll say it again. I'm not a mechanic, but I told my nephew that I'll see what I can do. And like Jeremy Clarkson always said,
how hard can that be?
Now the bike is a 2017 model with 24,000 kilometers on the clock. So I didn't even go through the trouble of getting my car out of the garage so that I can work in there. I thought I'll just get it to a comfortable spot and then dig right into it. Now basically for an engine to start you need fuel, air and ignition, and then of course compression. So I thought I'll quickly find a dirty carburetor or a dead spark plug or something easy like that. So the bike was completely dead, and soon after that I found it has no battery. And the fuel line wasn't even connected. Next up I checked the oil and that was right where it needed to be. I then started turning the engine over a couple of times with the kickstart and I really didn't feel anything funny. I then wanted to check if the ignition system works, and we have spark on the spark plug. I got the fuel line connected to see if we could get this thing to start. So I thought I'll use some brake clean in the air intake to see if that'll work. So we have fuel, we have ignition, and we obviously have air going into the engine. So the next variable was going to be compression. So I removed the fuel tank from the bike to get easy access to the valve cover so that I can take that off and check the valve clearances. So I've set valves on one of my motorbikes before, so it's pretty basic and I was willing to give it a try. There was also a little surprise waiting for me. But anyway, I got the valve cover off and then I wanted to get the engine set to TDC, so top dead center. So I just usually put a screwdriver in the spark plug hole and then you turn the engine carefully until the piston is as high as it will go. But when I removed the screwdriver, I found this. And that's when I knew we have a big problem. After that, I got comfortable and started stripping the engine to see what was going on the inside. Alright, so now I kind of understand why I didn't want to start up. A piston should not look like this. So I spent the last few days sourcing a new piston and rings, so I guess we have to get that fixed now. It's pretty uncomfortable working outside, so I want to push my car outside. I need to push it because, for those of you who are here for car things, I just put the new injectors in. So in the next video, we're going to be tuning this beast. Please make sure you are subscribed if you want to see that. I'm pretty sure it's going to be an interesting video, but let's get the car pushed outside and then get the bike in here so that I can work in the workshop, because this thing with its fat ass just takes up all the space. So let's get that done. Right, so that also just happened. I I was too slow to close the door and the door hooked on the engine. Doesn't look like too much damage, but there, paint this off. Over there, this thing. So yeah, that's not good, but moving on. Yes, I'm pretty bummed about that actually, because I just saw that it kind of messed up the garage door as well. So yeah, never fun when something like that happens, but we gotta move on. So let me get all the bike parts in here and then get started. I guess today is not gonna be my day. After getting the rings on the piston and the piston in the sleeve and everything to work, I turned the engine just to see if it freely moves around the piston. That's all fine. And then just before I went to put the head on the engine, luckily I checked over the valves. I should have done this sooner, but anyway, so we have a bent valve. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it does have a slight bend in it. And then when you look into the intake hole, you can see light coming through, so that's not a good thing. And just like the piston, they also didn't have any in stock, so now I have to wait another 2 or 3 days for that to come in, and then we can put the head back on the engine. But for now, I have the time, so I'm gonna see what I can put back together. I think I'm gonna put the engine back into the frame. It's quite easy to work around that until we get that valve, and yeah, then we can finish this thing up. So I guess I did everything that I can up until this point. I have to wait for the valve so that we can get the head back on there and then connect all the other things. But that shouldn't take too long, and then hopefully this thing will be back up and running again. And this is my first time opening up an engine to try and fix it. I would also like to add that I did open up the engine to try to get all the pieces of broken piston inside out. So hopefully I got everything out, but this is what was inside the engine. This thing has taken up a lot more of my time than I was expecting. So I'm gonna finish this video up here because I wanna get my focus back on the car that's just sitting outside. It's actually charging the battery at the moment. Just waiting on Lance to let me know when he has an opening, and then he can come over and we can tune the car, because the car is running very rich and I'm pretty sure it's not drivable. I'm very excited and also super nervous about how that's gonna go, but I guess we'll have to see. And then when I get the valve for this, I'll quickly finish it up and maybe make a short video of taking it on a test drive. That is, if it will run. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.